Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, in our last video we created this little drop down box here with an icon and some text. We've got a similar one here today. I've just actually created this on a client's site and thought it'd be a nice one to share. And what we've got is an image with a title and an icon on top of it, and when we hover over it, it's going to roll up and reveal some content below. This is really easy to do. We've got to write one tiny little bit of CSS code for this today. But don't let that put you off. I'll put what I use below the video and you're welcome to use it if you wish. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the visual builder on this page. And let's roll down where we want to work. I've got a row here, the green tab, with two columns in it, a left one and a right one. Let's start working on this one. I'm just going to hit the little button to add a new module there. Divi comes as standard with all these modules, plenty enough to build just about any site. If you're using WooCommerce, it gives you another dozen to display your products also. And I'm going to use the blurb module today purely because it's got an icon. Obviously put your title in here, whatever you want it to say. I'm going to leave mine just as it is. And put your content in here. Like any other text box, you can bold, italicize, make headings, do links, what you need to do there. I'm going to leave mine just like that for this demonstration. Moving on down on the content tab still to image and icon, I'm going to use an icon. So I'm going to flip this switch to on. Choose the icon that we want to work with here today. Choose that one. Great. Well, the first thing I want really is I want this icon on the left and the content on the right hand side. So let's go to design, image and icon, and image icon placement. Top, I'm going to flip mine from top to left. Now you can circle the icon, you can use the icon font size and things like that if you want to make it bigger or smaller. Again, I'm just going to leave mine just as it is. I will turn it white though, and it'll actually disappear because we've got no background in there. And for my text, I'm going to leave it left aligned. If we go down a little bit here, here's the text. I'm going to turn that light, it'll disappear too. And I'm going to leave it where it is. So it's as if there's nothing there, but it is. And I'll just pop a background color in the blurb. In fact, I'm going to use a gradient so we can see what's going on. There we go, it's back. Now what we've got to do is segregate these two colors so it looks like the icon's actually in a little block of its own. So choose whatever colors you want. I'm going to use black for where my icon is, but obviously this will work with any color. I'm going to roll down a bit. I'll leave the green as it is. I want to leave it on linear. Gradient direction, I want it to be 90 degrees, so we've got one color this side and the other color this side. So you can either slide it down or you can type in a value, however you wish to do it. Get it close and let's just take it down, a little bit of fine tuning with the little arrows there. Okay, so we've got the black on the left and the green on the right now. Well, we really want to split them. So what we can do is take our start position, maybe up to 10, and we'll take the end position to the same place, and that'll actually separate the two colors, just like that. Now that's going to be a little too much. Let's take it down to maybe 8 or 7. They want to be the same, so we've got a solid line there. That's great. And what I'm going to do is I'll actually give this a little bit of padding top and left so we can separate it. Now I also want my title to be in the middle, and I want a bit of separation, a bit more separation between it and the text below so that we can roll it like the one on top without seeing the text. So let's go close up our background. We'll go back to design. I'm going to go down to title text. I'm going to pop it in the middle. I'll make it bold just to make it stand out. If you want to, Divi's got a huge amount of fonts to choose from. Just roll over one and it'll give you an example of what that is. But I'm just going to use the default today. But to give it a bit more separation, let's take the line height up a bit. So I'm still on the title text right here. I'm going to take the line height maybe up to 2. 2M. Obviously do whatever works for you. I might need to adjust that in a minute when we've got everything else in place. Okay, while we're on the design tab, let's give our icon a bit of positioning using a bit of padding. And padding was going to position everything, but we can kind of jig the icon with it too. We can write custom CSS to place that individually, but I'm not going to do that today. Okay, so I'm on the design tab in the blurb settings. I'm going to go down to spacing. Let's give it, say, I don't know, let's give it 6 pixels on the top, and we'll give it 6 pixels left as well. Just put in 6, it'll put the pixels for you. I'm going to take that back a bit. There we go, that works fine. So that's in fairly good shape. So what I'm going to do now is save this, and what we want to do is have this just so the title and the icon are showing, and then when we hover over it we want it to pop up over an image. And with most of these image to text things, the image itself resides in the column that the module is sitting in, so it's underneath it really. So let's go into our row, the green tab for the row, and let's go into this column. We're on column 2, column 1, column 2. I'm going to go into the background here. I'm going to add a background image. Now I'm going to add it, but you won't be able to see it. Really doesn't matter. Let's add this one. Now the reason we can't see it is because our blurb module's on top of it and it's covering it up. So this is where a little bit of CSS comes in. I'm going to go over to the advanced tab, still in the column, within the row, still in the column, to custom CSS, and in the main element I'm going to write height 350 pixels. And as you can see, our image has appeared down the bottom there. Let's put a semicolon after that. The reason I'm using 350 is because that's what I've got next door there, so it's going to match it. Obviously you put in whatever height works for you. Okay, and I'll put that little bit of code down below, anybody needs to use it. The other thing is, because we're going to push this thing down, so half of it's going to hang out the bottom here, we don't want to see that, so we've got to make the overflow hidden. So I'm going to close up the custom CSS. I'm going to go down to visibility, still on the advanced tab in the column, horizontal and vertical overflow. I'm going to put both of these to hidden. Great. Well, all we need to do now is go back and position our module and get it moving the way that we want to. Let's move this over here out of the way. Just save this, save the row settings, and go back into our module. Okay, so we want to push it down all the way to the bottom here. I'm going to go down to, in the blurb settings, still on the design tab, I'm going to go down to spacing. I'm going to use margin. I know this is 350 tall, so let's push it down by 300. But before I do that, I'm going to hover over the dark writing, and this is common to most Divi modules. If you hover over the dark writing on something, you'll see some icons appear. If there's an arrow, it's going to let you set a desktop state when your mouse is not on it, and a different state for when your mouse is on it. So when our mouse is not on it, I just want to see the title and icon. So I'm going to give it 300 maybe. Let's see what happens there. That's pretty much bang on. I could in fact push that title down, that icon down a little bit, and bring that title up. So to do that, padding top, let's take that down a little bit. Oops, wrong way. Let's add a little bit to it so the icon's in the middle there. And now we just need to adjust the line height slightly for the text so it's more in the middle. So again, let's close off our spacing and we'll go down to title text again, pop that one in the middle by just adjusting the line height right here. There we go, I've just taken it down with the little arrows here and that's back in the middle, I think, or something like that. That's pretty close, that's close enough. Great. Well, let's go back into our spacing now and set the hover state. So when we're not hovering over it, that's what we want to see. When we hover over it, we want it to be back up here. Don't want anything to happen when we hover over the image. We just want this to happen when they hover over either the icon or the title. That's why we're using margin instead of padding to do this today. So on the hover state, I'm going to take the margin top back to 0. And let's adjust this so it covers the whole thing. And we'll do that with padding. So I'm going to roll over the padding. Don't forget to do this. Don't do it. You think you've got it open on hover state here. You've got to make sure you're doing it on the one that you're editing. So padding, there's the icons. Here's the hover state. Padding top, let's try giving it 100 top and bottom. Again, just put in the 100, it'll put the picks. Hit the chain, it'll do the bottom for you. It's not quite there. Let's do 120. Fantastic. That's done it fine. So when we're hovering over it, that's what we're going to have. When we're not, that's what we're going to have. But I would actually like to see a bit of the image behind our green section there when we're hovered up over. And you could probably do that for the dark one as well. So let's go into our background and we'll just make a little tweak in the gradient here. Here's our first color. I'm going to take the opacity down just slightly so we can see a hint of the image behind it. Just see the hint of the image bleeding through there. And for the green, we'll do similar. We want to be careful because we want to be able to make sure that we can read our text very legibly. I think that's okay. I think I can read everything fine there. And we're about good to go. The only thing I want to do for drama is just slow it down slightly, because if I get this up, the time it takes with Divi to go from here to here is 300 milliseconds, which is pretty quick, just under a third of a second. I like to slow it down for a bit of drama. So I'm going to go over to my advanced tab in the blurb settings, down to transitions, transition duration. There's the default 300. I'm going to take it up maybe just over half a second. And my favorite speed curve for this is ease in and ease out. They're all slightly different. Some will do different things in different situations, but for most of my hover effects, the ease in and ease out is the way I like to work. So I'm going to put that there. We'll save our changes. We'll save the page changes. Save draft or publish. And let's exit the visual builder. Go on down, there's our little image with the icon and title. And when we hover over, we've got that. And nothing's going to happen when we hover over the image. We've actually got to hover over either the icon or the title itself. And that's coming up nicely, and we can read everything in there with no trouble at all. So there you go, guys. There's how have an image to text with two-tone background. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out our playlist for other hover effects that we've done in this series, and there's plenty of them out there. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.